want to start? North Broward?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who do we have there?
We have Miss Gary, LaShonda Gary.
Okay. Is she in the mental health unit?
Yes, ma'am. Well, this is quarantine unit,
That's, oh, okay. I
but
just wasn't,
it is the infirmary, Your Honor.
yeah, so I guess in that sense, yeah, okay. All right, so Ms. LaShonda Gary, you're here so I can review your charges with you. You're charged with one count of violation of an injunction for protection against domestic violence. How, Ms. Drake, did you get to communicate with her yet?
No, I didn't. I feel comfortable proceeding though. At this
Okay,
point. For Miss Gary, the injunction listed in the probable cause affidavit, that's a non-existent case. So we're saying there's no probable cause.
okay. Let's see what we
In
got.
Broward County. if that's-
Violation of protection order. Well, the only number that's referenced is the served, is that 1603? Yeah, well, I don't know what that is. Served. It had temporary injunction, non-expiring. That would be pretty rare for it to be a 2016 temporary injunction, non-expiring. State?
Pulling it up right now, Your Honor.
Sure. I guess I could do a search in her name in Broward, but. DMCA.
Okay, Judge, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's DVCE -16-003592. The final injunction, it says in effect until further order of the court.
So is this number incorrect in the PC?
Clearly.
Well, I can just.
It's not a regular number, even if you add DVCE on top of it.
So I'm not clear if the officer I'm not clear if the officer searched something in his internal system and didn't put the case number in, but there is a protection order that's still in place.
Okay, so I'll sign this. The protection order is in place. So, but it's not within the four corners of the PC, but I don't think the case number has to be.
I don't.
Everyone agree?
I'm not agreeing, Your Honor. They're saying that there was an injunction served on 519 with that reference number. If that reference number doesn't exist, then we're arguing there's no PC. Additionally, the listed victim indicated she doesn't want prosecution. I recognize the state doesn't need that to proceed,
Right.
but you know, it's the listed victim, the complaining witness is supposed to be the most important voice. I thought that's important to get on the record.
All right, state, clearly you're gonna argue that I do have probable cause, that the identification of a domestic violence injunction, expiring, non-expiring, is sufficient in the four corners of the probable cause affidavit.
That is exactly what I'm going to argue, as well as the fact that, in checking the court's file, we are able to find that there is an injunction currently in place and stating that it's in fact until further order.
Yeah, I agree with the state. I think it's very clear. Now, whether or not the alleged victim wants it to be there, the alleged victim can always file a motion to dissolve if that's what he or she wants to do. I'm going to say he, Mr. Smith. But in the meantime, I do find probable cause. So I'm going to make that finding. And then we've been in front of Judge McHugh. Argument, state, what kind of bond is the state looking for? I'm assuming well, no, I shouldn't assume. There have been no prior violations reported of the injunction since 2016?
Right, Judge.
Sorry?
I said I apologize. My system is a little slow.
Yeah, so's mine. Trust me.
Specifically related to this 2016 violation, I'm sorry, injunction.
Injunction.
There have been no prior
Okay.
violations. However, there are other, priors of a similar nature. There are injunctions of a similar nature.
With respect to this alleged victim?
With respect to this defendant.
Oh, okay. But nothing where this alleged victim is the alleged victim in any of the priors?
Prior injunctions, Your Honor?
Yes. No, of the prior criminal histories.
No.
All right. So what's the state's position with regard to a bond?
Your Honor, the state would be asking for $1,000 bond and no contact with the victim.
Okay. Go ahead, defense.
Your Honor, we're asking for the defendant to be placed on pretrial release. We're asking, and I'm sure she'll be fine with having an evaluation, as you can see from, or medically screened for a mental health evaluation. In the probable cause affidavit, the listed victim indicated that my client, the defendant, needs help.
Where? Does it?
Yes, she doesn't want to pursue charges because her daughter needs help.
Wait, hold on. Help me out, because I don't see that anywhere.
Oh, maybe I'm looking at Gosby. I'm sorry.
This is a guy. This is Mr. Smith is the alleged victim.
My page just got mixed up. I'm sorry, Your
Okay.
Honor. We've represented Miss Gary in the past, meaning she qualified as indigent, meaning the services of the public defender.
Sure.
We're asking that she be released without being required to post bond, and that she be supervised by pretrial services if there's concerns about her coming back to court and availing herself of all future court orders.
Okay. And so just so the record is clear, when you were talking about the alleged victim not wanting to prosecute, that was a different case.
Yes, I apologize. My papers have been mixed
Okay.
up.
So this is not in regards to Mr. Brian Smith, the alleged victim in this case involving the defendant here, which is Ms. LaShonda Gary. Okay. Got it. Okay. No prior violations. I will place her on, they may have been living together, $500 bond, and I'll put her on standard pretrial. No victim contact. Mhm.
Miss Gary.
And no return. Hold on.
I apologize.
No return. And so you may not, Ms. Gary, you may not go back to that residence, even if Mr. Smith had allowed you to do that. Okay, right now you're under a prosecution. The state is going to do its investigation and decide ultimately what happens. With regard to whether these charges go forward. Was someone have questions?
It was, I was asking for a phone number
I
for
was-
someone to help post bond for her.
A-
I was gonna, because I didn't speak to her before, to
Uh-huh.
get a phone number.
Oh,
For her.
okay, you're gonna do, okay, you're
it now.
asking her, okay, well, we
So,
need it
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Where'd she go?
She's there,
Oh,
she's
she's
just
there.
behind the thing.
I forget. No, I'm looking there and it's like, no, I forget I have to switch screens over here, like I do all the time. Okay,
And the reason I clarified it may be a different number than she's giving pre-trial.
oh, okay, so let's do two things. It could be, I don't know.
Yeah,
Ma'am, the public defender, your attorney wants a phone number of someone who might post bond. Is that what you're asking?
yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, a phone number for somebody who might post bond. Do you have the name and phone number of someone who might do that?
Yes, Jerry Gary, GERRY, Her phone number is 754-368-9853.
Perfect, thank you. I'll call right after court, ma'am.
Okay, and then is that, you're replacing you on standard pretrial too, which means if you bond out, you're gonna make a phone call to the pretrial office when you get out by 11 a.m. the next morning, whenever that is that you post. Is that same, do you have your own phone number that you're gonna give to pretrial now?
Yes,
Okay.
954-588-5807.
Okay, got it. And so I just said, as soon as you bond out, and make sure that you, the next business day at 11 a.m., you got to make a phone call to that pretrial number, and you're going to get that paperwork when you leave the jail, okay?
Hey, Judge, is there any way that I can submit my proof of innocence? Because Brian Smith and I lived together since 2016 to 2020. And he stayed at my house numerous times this year. I also had his daughter for a month this
I
year.
can't do anything about, I found probable cause. I can't do anything about that today, but I'm sure you're gonna get an assigned public defender in
Okay.
Judge McHugh's courtroom. And you explain to the public defender what's happening, because I know there's an injunction, but I had the impression from reading the probable cause affidavit that you may have been living together before that happened. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna get an assigned public defender. How soon do they go visit?
There's a special unit that represents unfiled cases.
Mhm, right.
So
Area.
with COVID, it's a little tougher.
Yeah,
But it should be pretty soon. Hopefully, once I talk to her friend, she'll be bonded out.
okay.
Good. Good. Can I make sure she have the correct phone number, please? For my
Can we
mother,
say- Yeah, you can recite it again.
754-368-9853.
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Thank
Okay, and you'll have no contact with Brian Smith. Make sure you do.
No, I
everything
won't.
else.
I won't.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually get a restraining order.
All right. You can do that on your own. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, man. Christopher Tuller, is this Mr. Tuller?
Yes, ma'am. Conti.
Okay, where are you, by the way?
Yeah, Conti.
You're Conti. Okay, cool. All right, Mr. Tuller, you're charged with one count of petty theft, first degree petty theft, property between $100 and $750, presentation of, providing false, owner information at a pawn shop, and finally dealing in stolen property. These are 2, 3, and 4. Where is 1, guys? Are these ads? They're listed as 2, 3, and 4. Where'd count 1 go? Can't hear you. Tuller.
On
Yes,
page,
ma'am.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm asking confinement status. What's this? It says ad charge 2, 3, and 4. So there's 3 ad charges. Oh yeah, he must have an assigned case. But where's the assigned case?
So this was a PC that an officer walked over.
Yeah.
So it is 3 additional charges.
count 1 looks like possession of heroin.
Yes. Possession of heroin. On that July 30.
Okay, so on July 30, so they're gonna file. Well, right now they're all in the same case. Okay, so you were booked in on possession of heroin on July 30. I guess during investigation, the investigative agency found the investigative entity found probable cause or suggest probable cause on 3 other charges, which I just read to you. And so, counsel, how do you want to handle this? You haven't spoken to him.
I did. I spoke. They called.
Oh, good. Okay, so you
Conti
did speak to
do
him.
this, yes.
Okay, so is there a probable cause argument?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so probable cause is found. Is there an argument? What's the state's position on bonds?
The state is seeking the standard bonds, petty theft, $100, false, count 3, false ownership info for pawn items, $1,000, and count 4, dealing and stolen property, $3,500 with no return orders.
Mr. Toller has lived in South Florida for the past 20 years. He does have strong family ties, including his mother who lives in Boca Raton. He would be able to reside with her. He'd be willing to do any level of pretrial release that the court deems appropriate. He is not financially able to post any bond at this time. He does have health issues that do make him particularly susceptible to COVID. He is active in his recovery. He regularly attends Narcotics Anonymous meetings. He will stay in good communication with his attorney, avail himself of all court orders, and we don't believe he's a flight risk. Based on all that, we're asking that he be released without posting bond and be placed on an appropriate level of pretrial. We recognize the state's concerns, but these are nonviolent offenses, and based on what I could see, there's no indication that he has a history of failing to appear.
Does he work?
He is currently.
When was the last time you worked, sir?
I lost my job about a month ago. I work for Premium Retail Services.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
I work for Premium Retail Services. It's an online organization. It's not a physical place, but it is, but you know what I mean? It's a merchandising place that you can apply online, and I never met my boss or nothing. I work over my phone, so I travel to different Walmart stores as a vendor. I lost my job about a month ago due to COVID and stuff, but I know I can get back.
You travel to different Walmart stores as a vendor. What
Yes,
does
ma'am.
that mean? What are you selling?
I travel there so I can help them stock certain products that premium retail does merchandising services for certain products and brands that go through Walmart's, and I service those brands.
Wow. How long have you been doing that before you lost your job?
About 2 years.
Okay. Does he have a prior criminal history?
He does, Judge.
Go ahead.
He has a open felony case out of West Palm Beach for possession of controlled substances. I believe it says meth, so I'm assuming methamphetamine.
Okay.
He has a closed 2015 possession of marijuana less than 20 grams with possession of paraphernalia. And those are his 10-year cases, Judge.
Okay. And the bond conditions on count 1, did they have drug and alcohol val on that one? Because he's got a history.
Cannot read the handwriting.
I can try to see, Judge.
He was on, what are his conditions on 1?
It was just a bond from what I see.
How much?
It is something written at the bottom, but I can't make out what it is.
Look as well.
I won't be fast enough to go into the system. You can't figure it out, huh?
No, Judge.
Are you looking at the finding in order?
Yes,
Yes.
from magistrates.
But JMS doesn't show it? Wouldn't JMS have the actual No? from July? It's not inputted in the,
Not in JMS. I can't, maybe Odyssey?
I don't know. I thought JMS always listed the bond.
They listed the bonds, but not the conditions. The bond was $1,000.
Not you're right. It never lists the conditions. All right. So the findings in order doesn't help you. All right. Well, that's okay.
Look to see if there were notes entered into our system from that day, Judge.
But he wasn't put on pre-trial, so any
No.
sort of drug and alcohol would be part of that order.
Yeah, but he's got a prior history.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did indicate he wants to live a sober life. He has been, he's early in his recovery, but he has been attending NA and AA meetings. So if some sort of assurances is what the court's looking for, pre-trial or standard pre-trial with random testing shouldn't be a problem for Mr. Tuller.
Okay. I'm going to impose, here's what I'm going to do on this case. They're non-monetary. There's a representation. He's already, had he posted he hadn't even posted the $1,000.
No, ma'am.
You're right.
Right. So I didn't think so. All right. So I'm going to give him ROR on all these with conditions. He'll be on level 2 supervision. So he'll be on standard pretrial, level 2 supervision.
That was not standard.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It's not. I know that. No, it's pretrial level 2 GPS. That's what you needed. It's just getting late, but I know the differences. Trust me. He will conditions of his release. He will undergo a drug and alcohol evaluation at BARC and comply with all follow-up recommended treatment. If the follow-up recommended treatment is inpatient, he'll do inpatient. Okay. Recommended. He will 14 days. That's fine. If his treatment is outpatient, then he will be tested. No, if his treatment, sorry, if he's No, if he doesn't, and we'll just do it this way because it's gonna be easy. If his drug and alcohol evaluation renders negative results, meaning he doesn't require any intervention, then he will not require drug and alcohol tests, random tests. But if he's required to do either inpatient or outpatient, that probably would be done by the treatment facility. So the only way, so then it would just say pretrial will test for, do random drug and alcohol in the event the defendant is in treatment and not receiving random tests there. Is that, it's a little inarticulate, but that's, I think everyone understands what I'm talking about. So drug and alcohol, random drug and alcohol if in treatment and facility doesn't test. Okay, let's see. Did they waive the fee on the GPS? Didn't already. Let me see what else.
Requesting no return to the home. Connection.
You got it. No return to either of the incident addresses. I feel like there was something. Oh yeah, I remember. You must attend at least 4 AA or NA meetings a week. In the event you're not in inpatient treatment.
Yes, Your Honor.
I did, I apologize.
Oh, okay. Don't say uh-oh.
I apologize, the Zoom went away.
Oh, the Zoom's here. Okay. So I know you still have a bond on the other. I'm not tampering bond, but this should address hopefully some substance abuse concerns. If you're amenable to treatment, that would be great. Now's a good time. Sounds like maybe you were in some early stages of sobriety. I didn't ask you too much about that. I'll leave that for another day with your division judge. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Everyone got the code? We good? Okay, it's complete. All right, and I think last but not least is Latoya Goldsby. That's the lady who you mixed up with the other guy. This is the,
No
this is
problem,
the
Johnny.
mother. The mother is the AV, right? Yeah. Okay, Latoya, hi, how are you? Hi, ma'am. All right, Latoya, so you're charged with 1 count of battery on a person over 65. That's a 3rd-degree felony. Any objection on probable cause? So the court does find probable cause. And as far as bond, let me hear from the state first.
This is for Latoya Goldsby.
Yes.
State is seeking a $25 bond with standard conditions.
$25 bond? Did I hear that right?
Hold on,
Sure thing.
I think I'm looking at the wrong. page. The state is seeking a Is this a 2nd degree or a 3rd degree?
3rd.
It is a 3rd, that's what I thought. So the state is seeking $1,000 bond with standard pretrial conditions, Your Honor. No victim contact and no return to the incident location.
Okay. Defense?
Your Honor, based on the probable cause affidavit and the listed victims' wishes, I'm not sure if the state will be able to prove this case should it proceed to trial. The listed victim or the pleading witness did indicate that Lisa Goddard does need help. Per Odyssey, there is a prior case where Ms. Goldsby was associated with a Baker Act case. Obviously, we can't see the specifics. I don't believe being incarcerated at any amount of, sorry, running out of steam.
I know.
At any financial amount is appropriate for a case like this. We're asking that she please be released on standard pretrial with mental health screening before she leaves. And I'm unsure if she has a place to live separate and apart from her mother.
Does she, or you don't know?
I'm unsure.
Yeah, I know. That's the hardest part, but I'll let her mother contact the state attorney in that case, whom I know who it is, obviously, on this case. Okay, the court is going to ROR on standard pretrial with the following conditions. The defendant, Ms. Goldsby, will get a mental health evaluation at Henderson within 14 days. Usually, hopefully, pretrial can expedite that. She shall have no contact with the alleged victim, and she shall not return to the incident address. So I'm sure defense counsel will be working to see if she has an alternate address where she can reside. Maybe there's some relatives around and help her out. Okay. Pretrial, you need a phone number, huh?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me ask her. Miss Goldsby, do you have a phone number?
Give him your phone number. Say she doesn't have one, Your Honor.
Okay. Did anyone get the, do you have a phone number for your mom?
Push this down. Ms. Goldsby, push it down. Give him the number, your mother's phone number. You don't know that either? Say she doesn't know it.
Pretrial, what happens if she doesn't have a place to go that's separate from the incident address? Is she not going to get out?
That's standard,
Right.
so.
She doesn't need an address at all.
Correct. But you're ordering no return.
Yeah, I'm ordering no return. I'm just wondering if she should be assessed. She's not responsive. So I'm just wondering. I don't know if she meets criteria. I mean, that's a really high bar, but she's not responsive, and I'm just not sure if they just let her out, what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah. Do you have a number? She's on file currently in North Broward. She's actually in the observation. So
Right.
she's in the infirmary now. So
Right.
she's with medical staff.
Yeah, I know, but with these orders, they'll release her. Am I right? They're not going to keep her.
Well, 9 times out of 10, they evaluated her already.
They did evaluate her.
Yes,
So, do you think we don't know what jail's doing? They had to wait for me, but now they don't have to wait for me anymore.
If
So-
they do recommend
Hmm.
that she be enacted, they'll go, like I told you earlier, they'll send the order with her release and have the perimeter deputy actually physically drop her off at the nearest facility.
Well, that I get. And in this case, it's at least an observation is warranted. So my question is, but if I don't put any conditions on this, what will the jail do? I guess is my question. They're gonna release her. Can I put any conditions on it? So at least they'll have time to assess her and then decide if she qualifies?
We can do the evaluation like we did before, like an order. I'll email it right now to medical and they can get it done.
Okay,
I email as you go.
okay. So shall we do an evaluation, a mental health assessment? Okay, great. And then then they'll start that.
Right.
Okay. Because otherwise she'll just be RR to PTR, and I'm afraid if her mom, especially if her mom can't pick her up, then what? But if with her mom not here, I'm not comfortable allowing any contact, but I see where these, this was my other, this is what I did. So kind of, I can see where it might be going, but at this point,
But are you still ordering a mental health eval
yes, absolutely.
by hand?
Yeah, because what they'll do is even if she doesn't meet the criteria, it doesn't mean she doesn't need mental health treatment. It just means she doesn't meet the criteria for Baker. Yeah.
Judge Inspector.
Hold on, one second, Deputy. What was the question?
I know pretrial did one for her. Do you want me to do one for Washington custody?
Yes, yeah, oh, yes, Deputy, what's up?
I can tell you where she's being housed. Right now, she's being housed for psychological observation.
Right,
So
so they
that's
haven't made a determination now.
right, that's right.
Yeah, but so they're still watching her. But there's, in past, there's been a waiting list, so, but you don't know if there's been, you're pretty sure there's been no determination.
No, there haven't been any determination.
Okay, so you see what it is Deputy, I'm RORing her. So there
Yes,
wouldn't,
I understand.
yeah, so, but does
You're
that
right.
mean that they'll just let her go?
Yeah, if you release her, yes, we must let her go. Unless she's on suicide watch. That's the only way we'll hold her.
Yeah. Well, I don't really, I mean, so, but if she meets criteria, you're gonna determine that before she leaves.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, okay. So, because I'm not gonna the jail can't hold her if she doesn't meet criteria. If she meets criteria, they can only hold her till a receiving facility will take her.
No, they won't even hold her until they can take her. They'll physically.
Oh, they'll bring her over because they won't hold her.
They take priority.
Yeah, they do take priority. And that's one way of doing it, huh? Yeah. Yes.
Judge, if I may, so in her mental health case, I know it's older, however, there have been recent activities as months ago. If
Oh.
anyone wants to look at that.
Yeah, I do. Okay, hold on. Is it you mean, is it a MHC or is it a felony?
It says MH-C-09-000.
Oh, hold on. MHC 090.
5090.
Got that right. I did. Okay. So now it says dispose. Let me see what we have. Case closed, June 10. Petition. So there was a petition for, I don't want to say stuff on the record. Let me review it. Yeah, they had a hearing. All right. Well, it gives me some insight. It gives me insight. Yeah. We don't. Obviously, I leave all that in the hands of the medical staff. So, but I worry. I worry. But I can only do so much, and I'm not going to hold her on some conditions. It's not going to be appropriate. But we'll see what maybe her mom arranges for some family members to help out on an interim basis, and maybe they open another. Who knows? Maybe something else will open under this case number. Okay, we're good. Thank you, Deputy, for explaining that. I've had an impression that might be going on. Okay, so let me just sign the orders for the assessment. I have the stabilization order. Did you actually do that? Because this is a mental health screening order. I can do the Baker Act stabilization order. Actually, wait, they're already doing it. No, they're doing it, so it doesn't matter. That would be if I actually find on my own to send, and I'm not going to do that because they're doing it. That's what the medical professionals are there for. So I'm not going to enter the Baker Act order. Okay, so we got also a no contact order with, is it Barbara? Is that her name? The mom? Barbara Brown or Barbara? I gave the sheet back, so Tanya has it. Barber, B-A-R-B-E-R? That's what they wrote. Okay. All right, everyone want to check the docket? Do we need to check the docket? Make sure we didn't miss? That would be my clerk. Well, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, is anyone still there? Okay, let's find out. Okay, I'm gonna shut down the Zoom. Everyone's going.